So your performance was amazing. It was Oscar-worthy. Your subtlety and your harboring of this dark secret as well. It's an amazing performance. Almost moved me to tears. What was your inspiration for your role, and how did you prepare for it?
My inspiration was my sister Dolores. She's been teaching in the Central Falls school system for 20 years. She's a public school teacher, English teacher. That's where I went to school. She went to school there too. She was one of the teachers that was fired in the overhauling of the system a couple of years ago. And she's a great teacher. But through the course, she was fired along with everyone else and subsequently got a job back. But in the course of her firing, she called me one day and she just burst into tears. In the midst of all of it, she was just devastated. One of the things she said, it's the one thing, Viola, that I knew that I was great at was teaching. And now this is what's happened. It just rocked her world. And I drew on that with Nona, that I think that once that was taken off the plate, and then her marriage is failing and she's so distant from her child, I think that she lost her way, the passion. I think that's a horrible thing when that happens. But anyway, my sister was my inspiration.
What do you think is some of the qualities that make a good teacher compared to when we saw some teachers that were kind of portrayed almost in a villainous role? What do you think, is a quality that makes a good teacher?
Yes, a quality that makes a good teacher is, for me, because my sister Dolores is a great teacher, so I can describe her. She is well-traveled and well-versed, and she understands that she's a citizen of the world, okay? Someone who is without judgment. And someone who goes the extra mile. Great teachers for me, they literally stayed longer after school. And a lot of my teachers, especially the ones in the Upward Bound program, even came to my house on the weekends. I could call them by their first names. And there was something about that made me feel that it wasn't just academia that I had to focus on in order to navigate my way through life, but it was also understanding failure and success, how to pick myself up, how to believe in myself, liking myself, all of those life lessons that a teacher, literally a great teacher, gives you. They can give it to you in 5 minutes, actually.
Sure. And one of the things that astonished me was when one of your students called you to ask you a question, and I thought that was, just such a minor thing, but it just showed such a leap in as far as teachers go and stuff. So I thought that was incredible. But one of the things I wanted to ask you about is that there's some of a political backlash regarding this film with the unions and non-unions and this and that. Do you think that politics are getting in the way somewhat, or do you think this film transcends that and is focused on the students and their embetterment and their empowerment as far as...
I do believe that. Yeah. I do believe that last statement. And also, I will quote something that my sister said. She said she's so happy that education is now at the forefront of discourse, of people's conversation.
Exactly, yeah.
And being a teacher is at the forefront. That she can't wait to see the movie, and she's a public school teacher. Yeah. That discourse has always been the jumping off point of change. We understood that in the 60s, and I think that we need to understand that now, that America and what it means to be an American has evolved. Exactly. And as part of that evolution, there's going to be disagreement. So my whole thing is bring on the discourse. Bring on all of that, because I think what's at the end of the rainbow will be something that is quite beautiful. That's what I'm going to hope for.
I hope so, too. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.